Hey, yeah, it's Malcolm here, and in this video I want to go back over a video that I did back in where is it here, back in July, on the 9th of July 2024, and this is where I showed how we could make a system go from 136 to 413 points. Since then I've been using the system in a bot which has been doing it automatically. As you can see, it lost there and then it regained, that kind of thing. So in this video I want to go over that, go over the results and go over what's been happening. So stay tuned and let's get on with it. Okay, before we start, I have to say that this is a recovery plan I'm using. I'm not saying for any time that you must do this or you should do it or anything like this. This is just me testing and showing you what I found. Not in any way would I suggest that you do recovery staking, especially if you're new to this kind of thing. But I just want to show you how it's worked, how I've been doing it, and how it looks with this system. But that is all I want to show you. Okay, so when I last introduced the system, it was obviously a couple of months before this. And since then, we've had that 13.22 loser, which wasn't great. We've had a 12.61 winner and a 9.2. Now, at the time, I was talking about the split by three recovery with this system because it seemed to work with it. And when we got this losing run here, we need to check that to see if it still works with it. Now, the other thing is, if we now switch to, say, if we now switch to July the 1st, and we can have a look at the results then as they kind of been happening. So, no, that hasn't worked. What have I done there? Sorry, we've got to go back to 24, up to 24, I mean. So, let's go back down. Okay, so you can see that we've made points. Now, the system when it was created obviously showed points, but, as people will probably comment on this video like they do on all my videos, that it's back testing and all the rest of it. Okay, but it shows it's still made profit. Okay, it's not a great deal of profit, but it still has made profit. Okay, so when people talk about recovery plans, they always go, oh, you can't turn a losing system into a winning system with a recovery plan, and they're probably right. Okay, but this hasn't actually lost money, it's actually made money. All right, not as much as it has been, but it has made money. Still got an 85% strike rate, still only had two longest losing run, and that strike rate is actually saying that our predicted losing run is 2, but 3 might come along. The ROI is not as good as it was overall, 13.85%, but it's still not a bad ROI. Although some people will argue on that as well, because that's based on you putting 1 point on per selection. But some people will argue that actually, because you're laying, then you're obviously, your liability is higher, so it wouldn't be 1 point. So you can work that out for yourself. I just used 1 point and it's simple. That's what I got back, and I'm leaving it at that. Other people argue that as soon as you're in profit, you make 100% anyway. So whatever way you look at it, there's always with these things lots of ways to look at it. So anyway, the point is, did split by three staking work over the last couple of months? So if we put split by three, now I leave this at 5% commission, although I only pay 2% commission. And we're going to update those results and let's see. So as we can see, it has actually worked. It put the profit from 8 points right up to 42.79. So and it brought that losing month into a winning month. Sorry, it was that losing month, yeah, losing into winning, and those 2 months and this month is really good. So it's still working because we're having a relatively low average losing odds and a pretty good strike rate and a low longest losing run, so only 2. Where this system would get difficult is when you have loser, winner, loser, winner, loser, winner, and then you're splitting by 3. Now, let me just show you that split by 3 just so you can see how it works. So if you see here, we've lost 7.64, which is actually 6.64 when we talk about Betfair prices. So we split that by 3, and then we add our stake back in. So 2.21 would have been roughly 3 of those, and then add 1 point. So we're now at 3.21. So on that first bet where we won again, we actually got back half of that, and then again we got back the other half just about, and then the last one brought us back to all our profit and gave us a little bit extra to pay for that staking. So again, you could say that the ROI is slightly less because of the way we've been doing it, but you know, it's profit. People worry about profit at the end of the day. And then you go straight back to 1. So you turn it over for free. Now, where it gets a little bit difficult is somewhere like here. And this is where you can kind of see some problems. So we lost on this one at 5.4. Okay. So split that up to about 180. So that makes 2.80. Now, we lost again. So we've now gone 7.92 plus 5.4. And I'm going to have to do this on a calculator. But I presume that that's pretty much what it should be. So it's now 5.4. I'll get that in a minute. 5.4 plus 7.92. Okay, so that's £13.32 we've lost, or 13.32 points I've lost altogether. So that divide that by 3, and that comes out at 4.44. So plus the 1, that's 5.454. So I should have just trusted my calculations. Anyway, so we go again, and we have 2 winners. Okay, but then we lose again. Okay, and then we have 2 winners, and then we lose again. And this is where this system gets very, very difficult. And so this is why you need a bank to cover it, and you can't do big stakes. This is not a big stake game. This is a minimal stake game. And I'm using about 1% of my bank to do this, but I would suggest, if for one moment you decided to do it, it would be 1% or less at your bank. But anyway, and you can see that we started with £100 bank, and we've gone down, but we've come back up, and then we've gone down again. So we've had quite a the bank's drawn down to nearly 50 quid there, and then we're back up to 71.88. So you can see that in this bank drawdown here. So it's pretty high. So you just got to be careful of that kind of thing, because it can very quickly get you into trouble, even split by 3. Now, you could possibly, I don't know, you could possibly split by 4 and see if that, that drops the bank, the drawdown. So if we went back to those results again, we can see that it's not quite as painful. As long as you get the win in runs, it's actually, you can split by a lot. I probably wouldn't want to go over that. Let's go to split by 5 and see what happens there. So again, it's actually not bad with this system, and that really makes it a little bit easier to deal with. And the system's just had 5 winners in a row. So again, after some losses, but it does mean that your stakes stay lower, but it does mean that you do need that 5 winners or 4 winners or whatever it's going to be in a row. And 3 works okay for me because the stakes. But if you're a bit concerned and you want to do something else, if you decide to do this idea. So that's why I chose split by 3, and you can see that it's actually been working. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the difference between looking at results from Betfair and actually placing bets. Now, the problem with lay bets is that you can't SP them when you've got price ranges. And normally with lay bets, you do have price ranges. You'll say, okay, I'm not going to bet over 10. Well, that's really difficult with SP because you have to put in, you can put in your liability. That's the way you would need to do it. And that, I don't even know if this system works very well with liability. Let's have a quick look. Some systems do, no, and some systems don't, and that's all to do with the price and the money you get back. So this system doesn't work very well with liability. So you'd have to kind of go off just before the off, which is basically what the bot does. But if you was going to do it manually, the advantage is you can watch the race before it goes off, whereas with the bot, it's got a set time. It knows when the advertised off of the race is, and that's when it starts deciding to bet or not. So if we go back to the bot, and I did this setup in my last video, and if you go to options and session, you can see that I've got this set to go off 10 seconds before the off, but the race might go off a few minutes after that, or longer. So that means that the favourite could or the price could change, and it wouldn't be a selection, or the price could come in and it becomes a selection, those kind of things. So you do get this change, and I'm going to show you that now. So if we look at the results here, you'll see that there are 62 results. Okay, now if we go to my spreadsheet from the bot, you see I've only got 56 results, and that's purely because when my bot's looked at the market, the selection is outside my price range in one way or the other. Either it's lower or it's higher, possibly higher, and so my bot doesn't place the bet. Okay, but by the time SP's rounded up or whatever, maybe that runner has come in on that price, and so I haven't got it. So you do lose some. In some cases, there's like if you just chose favourites, like we've got systems where we're just running on favourites, and sometimes there'd be two runners really close together on price, and then we get the one that wasn't favourite because it was favourite when the bot went to bet. But as the prices go to SP, or the race goes off and they create the SP price, the other ones become favourite. So you always get these discrepancies when you're talking about price ranges, or when you're talking about first, second, third, fourth, fifth favourites, that kind of thing. So you've got to kind of be aware of that. But saying all that, the bot's done very, very well, and I'm quite happy with it. Overall, I've made £37 starting with 50p stakes, and you can see here with my stakes as well how my stake was 50p there. I lost 330, so my bot starts going up. Now the only difference between the results that you were seeing in the in TTS Plus is that I'm using 1% of banking as well. So my stakes are going up and down depending on what the bank is doing. So they get a little bit messed up. Again, this is the difference between doing it, manually and doing it in a bot. There are these discrepancies that you have to play around with. So my stakes have been going up and down. As you can see, I've gone from 50 and then to 53 after I got back some of those losses. I got 1, 2, 3, and you can see there that even my stake has gone from 153 to 157 to 160, because as I've won, my bank's gone up, and so my stake percentage is changing. In fact, it's not actually 1% because I'm using quite a small bank for this, because we don't have big banks because we use them for testing, not only these systems but also our bots and stuff like that. And sometimes if we've got coding wrong in our bots when we're testing, we can wipe out a whole account. And we're no different to you are, that Betfair do not allow us to have many accounts, and so we can't risk putting loads. We've actually lost, I think it was 500, nearly £1,000 one night, because we'd made a mistake with the bot and it just wiped out our account. That was a long time ago, in the early days of when we first started creating bots and stuff like that. But we lost a lot of money overnight one time, just because of a pure programming error. So we have to test, because we can't give these products out to you or the users if they're not working. So we have to test with live money all the time. So these kind of tests are good as well, because it's long-term testing, and we can check the staking system, check percentages of bank, and check it's all working. And you can tell by the bot that it's not stopped. It's been going since the 1st of July. It's continually gone, and there aren't an awful lot of selections. If you think about it, that's like what, 2 or 3 months of selections, and you know, I've had 54 selections, so it's not a great deal of profit. But as you can see, I've made 37.43. So if we go back to the spreadsheet, and you can see that 37.43, and you can see that I'd have made, if I'd have just continued with basic staking or normal staking, I'd have made £8.75. It would have still been profit, and in fact I'd have made more than that, because I only pay 2% commission, or we only pay 2% commission, so we'd have made a bit more than that. In fact, that's dead easy to do. If you want the calculation for things like that, you just kind of go in, and you can see that I've just put in 9.5. If I put in 9.8, oops, 9.9 even, no, 9.8, and do that, and go down again. You just drag that down, and you can see I changed 9, so 9.24. I made an extra pound or something. But yeah, so it's worked well, and it's going well, and it's still going. And so I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 winners in a row, but the results here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in a row. Yeah, so if you see here, 3 of these are dead on the 10, so I probably didn't get all of them before the off, that kind of thing. So again, you know, the results are always, you have to keep an eye on them, because they're not always, when you're looking at a price range, there are some discrepancies there that you have to handle. So keep that in mind. But overall, the system's doing all right. I'm still making profit, so I'm happy. The split by 3 is working well and still producing a profit. There's plenty of winners in the system, and there's even profit at level stakes. So, all right, not a lot of profit, but it's still profit at level stakes. And apart from that, it's been doing okay the last couple of months. The first month was not that good, but it's done better since then and got into profit. So yeah, that's the update. That's what I wanted to show you, is how it's been doing. Hopefully you find that interesting. If you do, please subscribe to the channel. That always helps. Give me the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.